Hello, everyone, and welcome to the DiceWarmers, a podcast where we talk about all things geeky and we sometimes have structure and coherent thoughts. I am Vass, and with me today, as always, we have. What's your name again?
Cazz.
Oh, and David.
And I'm here too.
I knew you weren't feeling well, but I didn't think it had gone to your memory already. Or was that you shaking up the intro a little?
It was me
bit of
spontaneously.
both?
I swear to God, I didn't have this planned, but it felt right in the moment, so I went for it.
Cool.
Let me start by apologizing to our listeners because I feel like shit. So if I don't know, I have no idea how I sound. I can't possibly
You
sound
sound
worse than
okay.
usual.
Yeah, you sound
You
fine.
sound exactly the same. If you hadn't told people you were feeling like shit, they would probably just think you were being a little bit grumpier than norm. But otherwise, the normal.
Okay, so I sound as grumpy as normal then, is what you're saying.
Yeah, basically,
Okay,
yeah.
That's good to know. But the good news is tomorrow is Friday and I get to go to work. Yay!
Well, is that I get to go to work?
I don't want to go to work.
Yeah, but just think, the day after tomorrow is Saturday and you don't have to go to work.
That is very true. I can relax
lie in bed
and scratch my balls.
Yes.
That's a bit too much information,
that's not
but
all
yes.
I'm going to do, but it's like...
I was going to say, because it's going to be a bit painful by the end of Saturday, surely.
It's going to get a bit red.
Yeah, it's going to get red.
Bit sore, chafing going on.
I use lotion in between the scratching sessions.
Oh, disgusting.
Is that a new word for it, is it?
Scratching sessions.
Yeah, scratching sessions.
Oh, no.
It's too soon into the podcast.
We're only like a minute or so in. Can we change the topic, please?
Already a minute in and we're cringing. Oh,
yeah,
my goodness.
Okay, so...
Okay, so you don't want to talk about my balls. That's fine.
No, I'm going to David. David, what have you done this week? Anything fun?
Aside from my Pathfinder game, I've been playing a lot of Ratchet and Clank. Rift Apart.
Okay, well, we'll start with that one since apparently you seem more excited about the Ratchet and Clank one.
Yeah.
So tell us.
How's it been?
How's it been? Yeah.
Yeah, it's been okay. It's very pretty. I think because it's made exclusively for PS5, it is very pretty. Very pretty.
Wait,
cool.
I can't play this anywhere else but
No.
PS5.
It's been made for PS5.
I think Ratchet and Clank is always for PlayStation, isn't it?
Was it?
Yeah.
I think it's always been a PlayStation exclusive.
Seriously.
Yeah, same.
Can we have one of the companies? I don't care which one. Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. I really don't care. If I had to choose, I would say Nintendo. Win the war, the console war, and just we have one console. That's it.
Microsoft, most of the companies now are actually doing crossover for pretty much everything.
I know.
And Sony are the only ones that are not joining in it.
At the moment, they announced Blizzard that Overwatch will be crossplay.
So the one game, in all of the games that Sony have got, the one game.
No.
Right? Because they're not doing it for Borderlands. They're not doing it for most other games that I know of.
I know that.
Sony are the only ones that are not doing
Overwatch, it. Overwatch is not even their IP, so it doesn't matter, really. Like, they only have to gain from, doing crossplay. So why wouldn't they?
God, Sony, get with the program, man.
No. But
Overwatch. Who plays Overwatch?
Actually, I don't play any Overwatch.
I've never played it.
I played the first one. It was really fun when it came out, and I played like a support character.
Mm-hmm.
I put Overwatch in the same box as Fortnite. Never
really?
Yeah, I didn't like the idea of them, to be honest. Only because I got a bad impression of them straight away, and I thought...
Was that because of the loot boxes?
No. It's because of the 12-year-olds playing them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you'll get a certain degree of 12-year-olds in like a free-to-play game, I guess.
Yeah, of course you will.
Overwatch was a buy-to-play. Right?
Overwatch you had to pay for, but...
Yeah. I don't know, Overwatch had a good community, in my opinion, when it started. I have no idea where it's at now. But
it's at that limbo where the second one's going to be coming out, so they've been saying, "Oh, what up?"
Those games I have a very weird relationship with because I like playing them, but it's very obvious, very fast that even though I'm good at them, there are people out there who are amazing at them, and
that's the
they
problem
drive me
with that.
insane.
With games that are mostly PvP, you tend to find the people who don't have to work all day tend to be absolutely amazing at them, and you think, I don't have enough time in the day to be that level.
No, but even when I did have time, like as a teenager, I was never good into FPSs, and all that, like twitchy 360 no scopes or whatever the lingo was back then.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, I don't think any of that was the lingo. I'm not really sure.
What, 360 no scope? Come on, Kaz.
I don't know. That was a long time ago when you were a teenager. Let's be fair.
Wasn't that during the craze of Modern Warfare 2? We had that.
Modern Warfare 2.
Remember that? The big craze of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2? The multiplayer for that?
I mean...
David, when I was a teenager, we
had...
That
wasn't a thing, yeah.
Like the first Xbox was like the most amazing console ever built.
Yeah. See, when I was a teenager, we were all into the...
I say
it was the first Xbox, so it was N64 was yeah,
I say teenager. I keep forgetting that I was probably 26, 27 at the time. I don't know why I call myself a teenager. But there you go.
Was it
mentally, you might have been a teenager.
I'm still a teenager mentally.
Oh, yeah, mentally.
I think my teenage game console was either the end of the PS2
so that was
or
last year,
David,
PS3. Was it?
Yeah, I think like maybe a year and a half ago, he was a teenager.
Kaz, how dare you? He's like 23.
He's 27.
I'm older than that.
Are you?
He's going to be 28 in a week or two, aren't you? Ooh, you're getting old, mate.
Our little boy's growing up.
I know. I'm already liking tea, and I'm already appreciating socks.
I'm not being funny. Mentally, you've never been a teenager. Mentally, you've always been an 80-year-old man.
Yeah.
But physically, you may have been a teenager at one point in time.
Your body is currently like racing to meet up with your mind, who's already like that of an 80-year-old man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the
don't get me wrong. Tea is not the sign of an 80-year-old, okay? For those that were listening, I know we jumped in when he said, oh, I'm already drinking tea. Everybody drinks tea. I drank tea when I was 4, okay? It was probably the weakest cup of tea you could possibly have. My mum wasn't poisoning us. Right, but he watches the 80-year-old people TV.
Oh,
and that's what makes him 80-year-old.
That'd be starting up soon, the Great British Bake Off.
Ironically.
No, it's that like clay, that Great British Clay Off or whatever it is.
The pottery throwdown. That's very good.
The pottery throwdown thing. I mean, come on.
I didn't even know there was a thing.
And they were making house bricks.
Ooh,
I was like,
they really had
boring
to
as
slam those in.
Like, I didn't purposefully watch it, mind. It was on TV, and I went, oh, this is what David watches. And they were making house bricks, and I was like, yeah, I am not watching
that episode, the guy cried over bricks. It was very funny.
Oh, for God's sake.
Did he literally cry over bricks?
Yes.
But if they didn't do their bricks perfectly, they had to keep going until their bricks were perfect. Which, it's fair enough. They got a time constraint and they got to have like 11 or whatever perfect bricks.
What the
Otherwise,
fuck is
they're out of the competition. I know, right? It's ridiculous.
Today, we're going to watch paint dry. Let's see who does it best.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you noticed the corners have not dried enough as the middle?
Oh my God.
But I did actually watch the interior design challenge. That was a good one.
What?
Yeah. They were designing like barber shops and cafes and houses.
Designing them. They weren't actually decorating them.
They were
just
decorating
them
as well. Yeah.
Oh, they were? Oh, right. Okay. I mean...
It was very good.
That can sometimes be interesting.
I'm very conscious of the fact that we still haven't talked about Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so he just said it was really pretty, and then we just kind of went on a tangent. Sorry, listeners.
Oh, no worries. Oh, I forgot I'm the sort of the concept of the listener, aren't I, with my ums and ahs. Am I? Oh, yeah.
David, tell us about Ratchet and Clank, please.
Okay. Well,
is it bad now?
I've played around about 15, 18 hours-ish, and my impressions are so far is it's very pretty. It is full of those moments,
I've got a question. Moments. Is it one of those things, when you introduce a friend, right, and they've got a good personality, meaning they are ugly as a house brick?
Yeah.
a badly made house brick, right?
Oh,
Never
Is
up-
this what you're saying about the game? Is it's got nothing in it at all? It's just pretty.
it's pretty. It
Third time you've
has.
said that now. We're going
I
to turn
know.
you into a drinking game.
So, Kaz, can you clarify something for me? Is the game pretty or not? Because I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. You know, I think it might be. What do you think, David? Is it pretty?
Is it pretty or is it
gorgeous.
beautiful?
It's gorgeous.
Oh, it's
way-
gorgeous. It's not just pretty. It's gorgeous.
Mm.
Yeah, the way
Now
they've done
Okay.
the fur
I'm
effects and the
intrigued.
sort of all the bolt effects. Oh, brilliant!
The
Um,
what effects?
Bolts and the fur effects. Like you have a camera in the game, a photo mode, like every other game in Tony's platform.
Imagine I'm someone who's never played Ratchet and Clank.
Okay,
Yeah. Describe the game to me.
it is a third-person action game with lots and lots of guns and enemies to shoot at, with occasional platform elements and puzzles.
Oh, so it's a shooter.
Yeah, it's a platform shooter. Yeah,
Okay. Is that the main appeal of the game? That it's a
I think
shooter?
the main
Should I
appeal.
recommend it to my buddy who likes, I don't know, Call of Duty?
No, it is for that person who wants to feel like they're being transported into an animated movie. It's that kind of appeal.
I don't
What
have
was
any
the
friends
thing you said
like
about
that.
puzzles?
Yes. So now this is where the game gets a bit iffy.
Iffy?
Yes. In the
Right,
original
okay.
3, it was puzzle heavy. Like you did all the shooting, and then you had a moment when you actually had to think about puzzles. Like you had to have a certain gadget or a certain stage in the story had to go along for you to do a puzzle. But in this
Right.
game, it's set piece, set piece, set piece, set piece, set piece. There's no puzzles in between. If there is, it's very minor.
Right.
And that's what I'm feeling so far in the game is fantastic visuals, fantastic
it's
story.
gorgeous,
It's gorgeous, but the
It's
gameplay is shit.
gorgeous.
basically.
But the gameplay is very good for shooting, but it needed something else in it.
So what you're saying is that it's a good shooter, but not a Ratchet and Clank game.
It's not a good. It's not one of the greatest Ratchet and Clank games.
Right.
Yeah, so from what I've gathered from what you've said is that Ratchet and Clank is the shooter, but it's also 50% of it is puzzles
Yes.
and trying to figure stuff out, and this one just doesn't have enough of that
No. Well, there used to
to
be.
appease that part of your gameplay.
Yeah, they used to combine the two. So you used to have puzzles by actually figuring out how to get to the one area without dying. So you used to
Right.
have a sniper in the game, for instance. You take out all the large enemies, and then you go forward with guns that did a lot of splash damage to take out all the small ones. In this game, it's very difficult, but you can blitz through everything with one gun.
Ah,
It's,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm at a point now where they started to introduce enemies that are a lot tougher, and you need a lot more strategy to go against.
Well, you've said you've sunk 18 hours into this game
Yes.
already, so it must have something that's appealing, right?
It's the story, believe it or not. They focused a lot more on the story this time around, whereas before it used to be capture this MacGuffin or get this MacGuffin. Now it's
So the story's good, but the gameplay is still not as good as you would hoped.
Yeah. For example, in the original games, in even Cracker Time, which was the previous one, used to have rail sections or side areas. These side areas would be extremely difficult to do, platforming-wise or puzzle-wise, anything like that. But they were so rewarding at the end as you got something that you would never got before, like
Right.
something that would bring in enemies or.
Has anyone here? Sorry to interrupt. Has anyone played Guild Wars 2? And it's relevant, I swear. I'll get to.
No, I haven't. No.
No, don't think so.
So Guild Wars 2, for those of you who don't know, and for our listeners who might not know, is like an MMORPG, basically, from ArenaNet. I played it when it first released, and the most appealing thing that game had for me was the exploration, the secrets that you could find,
Yes.
and the jumping puzzles. Oh my god. I must have spent days upon days finding all the jumping puzzles in the world and just trying to complete them. They were so complex, but so rewarding, because in the end, obviously, you got an achievement if you completed them. They weren't like obvious. You had to figure out. Oh, that might be a jumping puzzle over there, And then you got in the end, and the achievement popped. You're like, oh, I knew it. I knew this was a jumping puzzle. I didn't waste 18 hours of my life for nothing. Well,
I mean, that sounds pretty cool. Did you say it was Guild Wars?
Guild Wars 2.
Guild Wars 2. Oh, okay.
Which is free to play, by the way.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that's exactly
Might
the
look
point
into
I'm
that.
having in this game is, in the previous game, you used to have these little side areas or little divots in the sort of environment that you seem like, oh, there's a platform down there. How on earth do I get to that platform? On this game, it's you get up to this area, you think that's going to be a secret over there. Oh,
I
wait,
really
an
miss
invisible wall.
when games used to tell a story by not actually saying anything, but by gameplay elements. You play the game and the story was being told while actually playing the game. Now it seems like all the storytelling is done via cutscenes and via cinematics and whatever. But like for instance, when you played Zelda, yeah, the whole story, the whole world breathed story, but it wasn't like force fed to you over a cinematic or anything.
Yeah.
But you wanted to find out the story, and you would look into every nook and cranny in the world to find that there was like a little sign that said something that hinted into something else, and you found this secret cave and whatever. It was amazing. I miss that so much.
I mean, that's my style of gameplay anyway. Is just exploring everything, and I
Mhm.
think part of it's to do with the fact that they designed the games. So why wouldn't you want to look at everything? I know we go back to this over and over, but with Borderlands, some of them, I think Borderlands 2 maybe, or pre-sequel,
Yeah,
you have to
pre-sequel.
find the vault symbols in
Mhm.
certain places and to collect them all, sort of thing.
Mm.
And I like that part of it as well because they are hidden in the weirdest places.
And they took that away in Borderlands 3, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was more, there's an environment, you shoot some stuff up, you get to point A to point B. There was no point A to point B to point C.
Yeah, there wasn't
D to
enough
B.
of. Yeah, I know they're bringing out a lot of patches and they're bringing out a lot of like DLCs and stuff for Borderlands 3, but I do miss the aspect of looking everywhere just to find
And
those symbols.
Yeah,
and also,
exactly.
I know David probably won't connect with this, but I remember a time when if you were stuck in a game, you were stuck.
Yes.
There were no guides. There was no internet.
You can't just
to
look
at.
online.
Yeah,
There weren't really books.
I would ring my best friend. I would tell him, "Just come over. I'm stuck in this game. We have to like brute force it together." And we would spend hours upon hours trying to figure out what it was. And there was a magic in that
You
interaction.
spent so long doing
It's
it.
gone now.
I remember there was a game that we played. I was the only person. There were these like stones that you had to go over lava, and I was the only person who'd actually completed that bit. And everybody I knew kept getting stuck on it, and they used to call me round just to jump over those lava stones for them. Because I
Yeah.
don't know why. I must have had the timing perfect. I don't know how. Because it took me so long to figure it out myself. And then I must have gotten the timing perfect, click in my head, and everybody then was calling me to jump over these lava stones because nobody else could do it. And they were just getting stuck on it, and I was like, all right, yeah, sure. But I miss times like that where it's like
Yeah.
figuring out the timings and figuring out all the little quirky things of a game.
It made you feel like such a big shot, Like honestly, you're like,
you
oh,
can't
yeah.
get over those lava
Yeah.
stones?
Oh, let
Sure,
me do that
I'll
for
come and
you.
help you. Oh, it's easy. I don't know why
Oh,
you're getting
man.
stuck on it.
I remember we were playing. I must have been like, I don't know, 13, 14. We're playing adventure games on PC, and you'd get stuck, at whatever point, and you couldn't move forward. So I remember back then we actually wrote letters to PC gaming magazines, and they would write back like a reply, like, "Oh, go there and use that," and blah blah blah. And like, trying to explain that to a person of today, it's gonna be like, what? Were you living
Well,
with
yeah.
cave people? Like, what are you talking about?
At
But
least
there
you got
was
a
a
personalized letter.
magic in that, like the whole gaming community felt different just because I don't know. There was a lot of camaraderie. Is that the word? Camaraderie?
Yeah,
Yeah,
camaraderie.
camaraderie.
It was so difficult to play games back then. I know there are some now that are difficult. I take Cuphead for example. I cannot for the life of me play that game. Not a chance. But the games back then, like you didn't have the walkthroughs and cheats were like barely a thing. You had to put like a
Yeah.
4-letter code in if you
Now,
wanted to get
now you go to
something really
YouTube and you're like
tiny.
walkthrough,
Yeah.
and you get a video, not even text. You don't even have to read. Someone is
Yeah.
showing you. Like
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's
David.
like in Ratchet and Clank, they actually have an on PS5 called little bookmark activities, and you can actually click it to say, "I need help with this," and the developers have their own
and then the
videos of how
developer shows
to.
up at your house, knocks on your door, and comes and plays the game for you. Because that's
They
the kind of
probably do,
service we provide here at Sony Entertainment.
Yeah, right.
but to
I'm
be honest,
sorry, but the opposite.
Not a sponsor.
Uh,
there is a good example. It's with my introduction to the whole. Like, I'm getting really stuck at this. In the original games, there used to be something called a museum, where they have all the props, how they make the game, how they design the game, everything. And what you need to achieve it in the first game is to get these skill points, and they are for, say, like shoot 30 cars in this level, or complete this level without dying, or do not shoot a bullet and get to the end. That was the type of skill on the original game to actually get all these hidden achievements, and even gold weapons as well. But in the recent one, it's like, oh, okay, I've got this gold bolt I just hooked up to. Where's
And
the
we're back
challenge?
back talking about balls. Good job.
no. He said bolts.
It took us a
Not a
while.
ball.
I heard
Bolts.
balls.
Yeah, but that's because you've got balls on the mind. He said a
Oh,
bolt. We're talking
oh.
about Ratchet and Clank again.
Yeah.
Somehow, 20 minutes later.
Bolts, yeah.
But yeah,
I cannot go into the story without spoiling things. That is the only problem with
that's
it.
understandable. So basically, if anybody
They all died.
is contemplating buying this game, what would you say to them, David?
I say complete every other game before completing this one.
Every other game.
Every other game in the
we're talking
world,
like
So-
7,000-8,000 games.
or every other Ratchet and Clank game.
So they have to catch up on 10 titles.
Play 10 games before you buy this one.
Yes.
Okay,
Because
let's
In other words, don't buy this
yeah,
one.
don't buy this one. That's,
If
you-
it's not worth it, if it's not worth it until you've played the other 10
what
games,
you're saying is that there's 10
don't
games
buy
that are
it.
better than this.
no,
So-
Yeah.
there are 10 games that would actually help with the story of this.
No,
They
fuck
haven't-
that. If I
they
have to play
haven't-
10 games to
Fuck.
get into the story, no.
They haven't sort of toned it down for those new players. They've
have
given
they
you-
not? So if you're a new player, don't bother. If
you're a
you've
new,
played all the other ones, yes
If
or
you're-
no, David? Yeah.
if you're a new player, try to play the other ones. Otherwise, you can go into this
Okay, guys, don't
and
buy it.
not
Don't
get
buy
all
it.
the story beats of who this person is or why this is significant or not.
Okay.
Um,
So for new people to the Ratchet and Clank franchise, don't buy this game unless you plan on playing all the other ones first.
Yes.
For somebody who has played all the other ones, would you recommend it?
Yes. Oh god, yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
God,
it's
yeah.
pretty.
It's pretty good story.
It's got an oh god yeah from David, but at the same time he doesn't
mean-
really like the gameplay.
Yeah, his
I'm a
final
little bit
verdict
confused.
is, oh god, yeah. And when he described the game, it was like, no, the gameplay is
Yeah,
not there.
but it's
just
all-
beautiful.
How much was it? Like, if you don't mind my
Oh,
asking.
it's full price.
It was full price.
So like generally about 40 quid.
More like 50, 60, 70.
50, 60. I don't know.
70.
I don't know how much.
I think,
Jesus Christ!
How
I
much?
don't know how much. 70 quid.
yeah. No, fuck that. No.
Oh, don't get it, guys.
Never buy anything full price. 70 quid is a ridiculous amount of money.
That's a lot of money for
That's
a game
commitment.
that David has kind of gone.
Yeah.
Guys, play the other ones. By the time you've finished those 10, this one will be a manageable price, and
Yeah.
then get it then.
To be honest, I've been disappointed with the more titles than
70 quid. I can't
I
believe
once
that.
bought the Order 1886 for 60 and I found out it was a 10-hour game.
Oh
mean,
no.
I bought Fallout 76, so I can't really. Jesus Christ, that was a
I
disappointment.
feel for you, Vass. I
Like,
feel
I
for
have
you.
paid a lot of money for games before, but that's only when they've come
Oh,
with
by the
like
way, Kaz,
season passes and
Fallout
stuff.
76 is the name, not the
Oh
price.
no, I know it's the name. I've played it.
76
I'm
cents.
not
At
so
least,
great with Fallout because they've got like the mutanty people that
look, at least
remind me too
I
much of
didn't buy.
zombies, and I'm like, nope.
At least I didn't buy the collector's edition like Simon did.
Oh no. With the
Yeah.
I have
nylon
heard.
bag.
I haven't really played a huge amount of Fallout, but
You
I have
should.
heard that 76 is shit.
There is a
So-
video that you should see about like how shit it is,
Oh really?
and
Oof.
the horrible things they did as part of their marketing, and
Was
like the
that
collector's edition, it was like advertised one way and delivered another way, and they didn't even. Yeah, it's like one of the worst. You know how what's that game that space game that started horrible and ended up really good?
No Man's Sky?
No Man's Sky. It's like No
Hmm.
Man's Sky, but in reverse. So No Man's Sky started shit, and now it's like an amazing game.
Mm.
And Fallout 76 like was so fucking hyped, and it was
Yeah.
like a turd in a box.
Oof.
Not even in a
It
box.
actually was.
It was just
yeah,
a turd.
That's bad.
it was. It was. It wasn't even an MMO. It was more like a.
I mean, it was never
RPG-like.
advertised as an MMO. It was advertised as a.
But you could play with your friends or
Yeah, but
have
that's not an
Steven online.
MMO. I mean,
No, that's just a multiplayer.
yeah, it's a multiplayer game.
That's not. Yeah, MMO is something completely different.
I mean, it wasn't massive enough to be classified as an MMO.
No.
But anyway, let's. I mean, there's better things to talk about than the crap, the massive stinking pile of shit that is Fallout 76.
Okay.
So
Well-
on to other topics.
I was gonna ask about David's Pathfinder game, but if you've got something you want to talk about, Vass.
Yeah, you seem to be like, what would be worth, say, 70 or 40 or 50? Is there anything coming up that may, you may want to get?
That's
That is
Probably the
the
worst segue
ever.
ever.
Like ever.
What
All right,
would be worth
I
getting that
heard
one?
that there is a Kickstarter happening soon from my
Oh.
dear friend Vass, who is obsessed with a certain topic.
Are you
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about the Call of
Yes.
Cthulhu Classic Kickstarter launch, Kaz?
I may very well do. Do you
Classy.
mind telling our audience about it? Because, they might also be interested.
I mean, I don't know if our audience is aware that I'm kind of a Call of Cthulhu fan.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Potentially.
I
Who
mean,
knows?
I do enjoy the game occasionally.
They only have to have listened to one of our podcasts
Yeah.
That's very
to know.
true.
I think half the thumbnails have
tell
it
us
on.
if there's a podcast that I haven't mentioned Cthulhu in some form or another. We'd
Yeah,
love to
please
hear
do.
about that. I'd love to hear
We'll
about
go
that.
back, edit it, and put him going,
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu's the best, right at the end.
Praise Cthulhu.
All right, but before I get sidetracked too much, so this was announced a while back, actually, because this year marks Chaosium's 40th anniversary,
Whoa.
because they were established 1981, yes.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so for their 40th anniversary, they wanted to do something special.
Mhm.
And what they are doing is they are reprinting the original boxed set that started everything. And I'm not talking like modernizing it and updating the rules and all that. They're literally reprinting the original box set. I mean, like a sturdier box and all that, and obviously some fixes. But
Mhm.
like they're going OG, old school collector's item.
That's a nice way to celebrate a 40th. Going
Yeah,
back
I mean,
and then
it's
reprinting those.
clearly a collector's item. Like it's not something for someone who wants to get into the hobby, so to speak. Because I mean, you can play it definitely. It's a rule system, but it wouldn't be the most, elegant thing nowadays. I mean, it was great when it first, appeared, but I mean, the industry has advanced in the last 40 years, and better games have been written. One of them is Call of Cthulhu 7th Edition, to be fair. But yeah, it's one of those Kickstarters that I am both looking forward to and dreading at the same time because money.
Yeah.
I they did say that they have everything ready. By the way, so this
Mhm.
Kickstarter is more of a give us the money to print it. So when it gets funded, you'll receive the PDFs immediately, and then everything will get sent for printing.
Okay.
So
I mean, that's pretty
there's
cool.
not going to be a wait, is what they said. So the Kickstarter goes live tomorrow. By tomorrow, I mean the 2nd of July, because we're recording this on the 1st. So I'm a bit curious to see if there are going to be any stretch goals involved, and if yes, what stretch goals? Because the one thing I'm really missing, like, I'll be honest, I was hoping they were going to do like a special anniversary edition. Because for the 30th anniversary, they did a leather bound rule book, and that was pretty sick.
Nice.
But they went a different route for the 40th. I'm not complaining because they've included some really amazing supplements as well. So it's the box set, and then you have Shadows of Yog-Sothoth, which was like the first campaign they ever published. You got the Asylum and Other Tales, which is a collection of short stories. Well, not short stories, sorry. Short one-shot scenarios. Fragments of Fear, which is also, again, short stories. And you have Kaz's favorite guy, Trail of Sethogwa.
Sir Thogwa, yeah.
Sir Frogwa.
Sir
Trail of
Frogwa.
Sethogwa.
Sir Frogwa.
Sir Frogwa, yeah.
Yeah.
Sir Frogwa.
I should tell
You
our
need to
audience
give
that,
the audience a bit of background, yeah.
That's the nickname that this elder god was given during the what was the campaign?
Not masks.
Masks.
I don't know.
Oh God.
Serpent something.
Oh, two-headed serpent. Thank you.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, spoilers, but Sethogwa does make an appearance in
Sir Frogwa.
in Two-Headed Serpent. And as with many things from the campaign, my players just made up names for them and made the campaign so much
We
more
did
fun.
not make up names. Okay, someone along the lines just misheard what you said.
Yeah, and that's made up names.
No, we didn't make it up. You said the words, and enough of us heard it that was it.
Ah, so it's my fault then.
Must be. Can't be the players. Don't go blaming the players.
Okay.
There's more of us than there
only
are of
blame
you.
us for the roles and bad decisions.
Okay. Do we want to go over the Oklahoma incident?
The scooter state.
The scooter state.
I think I wasn't there for that particular.
You weren't there for that one.
I have a postcard on my mantelpiece that says the scooter. It doesn't actually say the scooter state, but has a little scooter outside of a church. And
I
says
think you
Oklahoma.
said the Sooner State or something, didn't you?
Yes, it was. That
Oklahoma, the Sooner State, and somebody misheard you and thought you said scooter.
Yeah.
And then that was it. It just became a long-running joke of Oklahoma, the scooter state.
Everyone's running around with scooters. Like
we're all on scooters, and it just became a thing.
Cool.
That's why I love RPGs, man. You get these crazy shit stories that if you weren't there, they're like boring to everyone else to listen to. But
yeah, so all the listeners, apologies for that. But
and then it's like just nostalgia for all of us.
When you're explaining a dream to someone else that you've had, which is amazing for you because you've had it, you've experienced it, and it's boring for everyone else.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I've had a single dream that someone else has found boring.
It's like explaining
Genuinely
a game.
Hilarious. Sorry, David.
I say it's like explaining a game that you really enjoy, but yet something about it just doesn't seem right. But
yeah, like when you talk to us about your Pathfinder game, David.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
we just never seem to understand it, but you seem to enjoy it.
Yeah,
I know.
You just had to be there. It's one of those things.
So, just to wrap up, back the Cthulhu thing on Kickstarter so that we can find out what the
yes, so it goes live tomorrow. So by the time you're listening to this, it's already live. Go check it, back it, because it's Chaosium. It's not Wizards of the Coast, these greedy bastards. Give your money to Chaosium. Support what they're doing. They're amazing people. And it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that I'm in love with Mike Mason.
Mike Mason, the scientist.
That's the
or
scientist.
The wrestler?
Yeah. Dr. Mike Mason. He's a scientist.
Oh, right, okay.
An engineering scientist.
Right.
In all realities, there could be Mike Masons of all different jobs.
Oh wait, are we not talking about him? Are we talking about the motocross athletes? I'm
Have you
confused.
actually Googled like a list of Mike Masons
No,
just to interject them
I think you have.
into our
What?
conversation?
why would I do that?
I'm talking about Mike Mason, the line manager for Call of Cthulhu.
Ah,
The one, the only Mike Mason, the guy who can sport a fedora like no other, the legend.
I'm sorry, are you sure you're not talking about the cricketer?
what?
We'll never get him as a guest, will we?
No, we'll
Not
get
with
one
that
Mike Mason
attitude.
as a guest, but
What
maybe not the
attitude?
line manager.
I say we replace Cazz and get Mike Mason in. That's gonna be easy, right? He'll be
Yeah,
like,
sure.
I want to join a podcast that
Mike Mason, the TV
5 people are
presenter.
listening to.
Definitely.
I would honestly like to recount the story of how you thought, like, what does Mike Mason look like at the expo? And actually, you have to Google him. And
I did have to Google him. I had to Google him and look
Imagine
for a picture
not
of him.
knowing how Mike Mason looked. Like
I didn't know. Have you tried
guy's
Googling
fantasy.
Mike Mason? Right? Because of my search history, he does actually come up as the first person. However, there are multiple other Mike Masons.
All you had to do was to go to the Chaosium booth and say, "Hi, is Mike Mason here?" And suffer from the crippling thought that you might actually be speaking to Mike Mason.
Instead, I went up to Mike Mason, pointed my finger at him, and went, "Are you Mike Mason?"
Imagine that.
My friend thinks you're awesome. I was just wondering if I could get you to sign some books for me.
And Mike Mason was like, "What the fuck are you on about?" But if you're buying
actually,
those
because
books,
I did go, "Are you Mike Mason?" And the guy standing next to him, I don't know who he is, another green shirt dude, probably really important within the
probably the
company.
second in command. Who knows?
Probably, I don't know. I have no idea what his name is.
Probably the vice president. Go on.
He is. This man is Mike Mason. I was like, cool.
Wow.
Can I get you to sign some things? My friend really, really likes you.
Did you actually say my friend really, really likes you? Like I'm a schoolgirl.
I said something along those lines. Maybe my friend's got a crush on you. My friend
Oh fuck! No, you
Yeah,
is
didn't.
obsessed with you. Something along those lines.
I know
I get you to sign these
for a
things?
fact you didn't say that because you'd be embarrassed to say
I
that.
wouldn't. I don't get embarrassed very easily.
Really? I can easily get embarrassed in public.
No, you
I think.
couldn't. I don't.
Challenge accepted.
I do enough stupid things on my own.
Yeah, but it's different.
Throughout the 30 odd years that I've been alive, I've done enough stupid things. I can no longer get embarrassed by stupid shit.
But I'll try to embarrass you in front of, like, I don't know, workmates or something.
They've seen me do enough stupid shit. You can't embarrass me in front of them.
Line manager?
Nope. I know them all, and I've said enough and done enough stupid shit. Believe me, it's not easy.
Being green?
It's not easy to be embarrassed. Anyway, so we were talking about Mike Mason, the author of The Mystery of Marriage, right?
Yes.
Right, okay.
The Mystery of Marriage.
Oh, speaking of The Mystery of Marriage, this is totally random, by the way. I don't know how it popped into my head. I was playing World of Warcraft the other night, and I'm running a dungeon for some guildies, and one of them is playing with his wife. So him and they're both in the party. So she happened to mention, I don't know how we came to that conversation, but she happened to mention that she writes erotic fiction, and she's actually like a published writer. And she was. She's like a New York Times best-selling author. And I looked at the books and I'm like, oh shit, we have to read these books. It's like 50 Shades of Grey times 100.
Seriously?
Yes.
Shit.
And she's published like 50 of them. I'm not kidding. It's not a made-up number. It's like 50.
What kind of?
Not even Stephen King. No, that's not.
What kind of stuff does she write?
She writes about men that women apparently fantasize.
Okay.
I wouldn't know. I haven't been involved in any woman's fantasy ever, so I wouldn't know.
I don't know.
Cazz, you laughed a little bit too hard at that
No,
joke.
I didn't.
There was an episode very similar to So they just launched a couple of months ago the latest series of Close Enough, and the last episode is exactly based on that topic of someone writing erotica.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's a man writing erotica that women actually find good representation, and they just can't take it. So they get someone else, like a ghostwriter or a publicist, to be the figure who is a woman.
Ghostwriters and publicists are two different things. I
Yeah.
just want to put that out there.
That's fine.
They do
Uh,
two very different jobs.
But it's on Netflix. It's very good, and I laughed in hysterics when I noticed one particular joke in the episode. Oh my goodness!
Can I just say, listeners, that David laughs really easily. Like, it doesn't.
Like right now, like he laughed for no fucking reason. Right
Yeah.
now,
He laughs for no reason sometimes.
and
He's
we've checked. He's not taking drugs. Like it's
Nope.
somehow like that's how he is.
just natural.
Yeah.
I don't get it, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my like Call of Cthulhu bit.
Your little swoon, yeah.
Yeah.
Little swoosh.
I'm not sure if I'm gonna. I'm very torn. I really want to throw all my money at Chaosium right now, but I'm very conscious of the fact that
Don't
this
you
might.
always?
Yeah.
It's not just right now,
I mean,
is it?
yeah, but I've been really good in the last year. Like I haven't backed any Kickstarter,
Oh,
which
good for you.
took a lot of
Is that this year or
self-discipline
in the last year?
in the last 12 months, not this year.
Wow,
Good.
that's impressive.
Yeah.
That's an improvement, especially over me. Which
Like I had too many Kickstarters that were so overdue that I decided, you know what, it's not worth it. I'll just wait for the delivered product if it ever comes out, and unless it's something that's going to be like a Kickstarter exclusive thing, and if I don't back it, it will never see the light of day, and I really, really want it, I won't back it.
I do that with if they are, say, the shipping costs are going to be astronomical when they're actually released, against you're paying the shipping cost at purchase at the Kickstarter funding, and
But
it's
aren't
going
the
to always
shipping
be that
costs
price.
calculated based on your location anyway?
Yes, but because of, say, like the things might change with delivery, taxes, that kind of thing, because you've already paid for it, that's the payment.
I don't know. I've been burned in the past. I've had Kickstarters who came back to me and said, "We charge too little for shipping. We're gonna have to ask for more."
Eesh, I have not had that
Yeah.
yet.
And the problem with Kickstarters is that they don't have a responsibility to deliver any product to you.
No.
You're entering into an agreement that says, "I hope something will come my way at the end of this, but if it doesn't, legally, I can't do shit."
Mm-hmm. It's scary, really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For like, don't throw money at the Kickstarter that you can't afford to lose.
Mm.
It's same with gambling.
It
It is
is.
a form
basically,
of
yeah.
gambling.
It
You
is
take a gamble.
essentially. Yeah,
take a
and you
gamble.
don't get the reward, the rush until
Yeah, sure.
very end.
Like some companies who are like established, or some people who have released a lot of Kickstarters. Obviously, that's a good sign that you can confidently support those creators. But like for a first-time creator, you're taking a gamble when you support them, unless they are, I don't know, Critical Role, and there's a big company behind them and whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, then
Oh,
again, Leather
Speaking
Games.
of Critical Role,
What is that?
sorry, I'm segueing myself into other topics. Sorry.
What?
Does anyone
That's
else want to
fine.
contribute
What? Yeah,
anything?
go on. I'm willing
Segue
to go on
away.
the Segway tube tunnel or whatever it is, and
So I don't know if you heard or if you're following Critical Role at all, but they just started the third season of their game, and Matthew Mercer has stepped down from the role of DM and is now playing for the first time in God knows how many years.
Oh,
for him.
cool.
what?
Good for him.
And
Oh, wow.
this lady that I'm sorry, but I didn't know of her before. She's DMing now, and a couple of new people have joined, and a couple of the old team have stepped down. I'm not sure why.
Oh,
I do.
rift in the ranks.
No, it's nothing like that. I think
Is
Oh,
it like
that's a
just a
shame.
it's just
refresh?
they're mixing it up a bit.
Yeah, no, it's
Okay.
fair. Fresh meat sort of
I
thing.
really like that the group size is kept to a more manageable level. It's only 5 players, and it used to be like 8. So it's easier for people to get a bit more of the spotlight. And I have to say, even though I enjoy it, I'm kind of torn of Critical Role in general because
Okay.
I know a lot of people got into D&D from Critical Role, and that's great.
Yeah.
But they got into D&D with an expectation of
Yeah, I was to
having a
say
table
it's great
like
that they
Matthew
got into
Mercer.
D&D. It's not great that that's
Yeah.
how they got into D&D because very few tables are like that.
Yeah, and keep in mind that when Matthew Mercer started playing, he was shit, like the rest of us. Yeah, he's been playing for 25 whatever years now,
Yeah.
or So it's an art. You put time into it, you get better with time. Hopefully, you get better with time.
Yeah.
But don't expect when you start, and you shouldn't. Your game should be something you and your group enjoy. You shouldn't imitate someone else's table, right?
You shouldn't know because it's a lot to uphold.
Yeah,
To do it the same way they do with Critical Role is just it's a lot of work. Like I made the mistake when I first started GMing. I would make the props for the table. So all
Okay.
of the minis and stuff like that, I would make buildings myself because it was cheaper.
Okay.
And I struggled to uphold that because it's just finding the time to make those props. It's just a lot to do. And
yeah.
I tell you, there's one game while I've been watching Dimension 20. Their set itself, where they actually played it, D&D, I believe it is. They have all miniatures they've made, and the actual school that the first one's based on. They actually had the school made in its entirety for the players to go around.
And that's fine, but we need to remind ourselves that's more of a TV show than a gaming table. Gaming tables don't look like that.
No.
When friends get around the gaming table to play, there's not a production company behind them that takes care of the set and lighting and whatever.
There's a few bowls, there's a few coasters, there's drinks, there's crumbs on the table.
Yeah, there's
and there's
people on their
lots of dancing.
phones while you're trying to tell a fucking story.
oh no, I hate it when people go on their phones when they're trying to when I'm trying to play a game or when I'm trying to GM. People on their phones is just it's disrespectful.
It's just an insult.
But
It's
It is because it's saying, I don't care what. Yeah, just let me know when I need to roll the dice.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Like I found that I struggle to play when I'm at home because there are a lot of distractions. But I have noticed that other people, I heard something. I don't know if this is something that any players in any of the games that I play in, but I have heard a lot of people play games in the background, and I think,
What?
how can you pay attention to what is being said if you're playing games?
Yeah.
And
also, why wouldn't you just play your game? If
well,
that's
yeah,
what's fun for
exactly.
you.
If that's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get distracted where I'd be watching something, like not watching something, watching the map on the screen, and then I'll go into my character sheet and I'll start reading my character sheet, and I'm like, oh shit, did they say my name? Because I just missed something.
Yeah.
Or I'll be looking at spells or something, and I get distracted so much easier, and I think it's because we're not in person, and that's the problem I'm
and you
finding.
have it all like to hand. Like I'm the same with my Pathfinder game. I'm reading the Pathfinder book or the GM guide or anything
It's
like that.
generally my
I'm
character
playing.
sheet is my problem. I don't get extra books
Yeah.
out or any of that stuff unless I'm
For
looking
me,
for spells. But
if I'm doing something else while I'm playing a game, it's an indication that I'm not enjoying the game, basically. So I shouldn't really be there. But yeah, speaking of like D&D TV series crossovers things,
Okay.
you know what I mean. Hopefully,
we know, yeah.
I don't know if you're aware of this, Kaz. I think it will be right up your alley. Is that the expression? Right up your alley?
Yeah, I think
That
that's
is the expression,
I
yeah.
haven't made a weird sex joke, have I?
No,
No,
you
but I
have not.
imagine
However, by
you would
saying
probably
that,
be
you've
using
made
it.
it sound like a weird sex joke.
I
Up your
honestly
alley.
wasn't sure if like
It
right
is-
up your alley was
It is the correct
Okay.
terminology, yeah.
But it
For
could
one,
also
for
be
once,
But
I
now
wasn't
it's a
slang.
trying
bit
to
weird.
be. I wasn't trying to be.
There's
you know.
probably an Urban Dictionary
But because
version
of
of the
that,
whole.
it's now weird.
Anyway, Titan's Grave, the Ashes of Valkana. So that's a setting and a game that Will Wheaton made and played on his YouTube channel, or what was Geek and Sundry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, oh my god, I really loved that game because
Mhm.
they were sat around like a coffee table.
Okay.
Will Wheaton at the end was like in a big like comfy arms chair with like a side table for his screen.
Nice.
So it was
I-
very story driven
Mhm.
game, and the rules were very very like
Loose.
it was basically age, with stunts and that guys.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and the story of that game was so good. They were supposed to do a series 2, but they fucked him over
Yeah.
with rights and that, and he sued them, as he should have
Yeah.
done. But the end result was that we never got a season 2 of this amazing series,
Oh,
Damn.
and he left Geek and Sundry as well at that point. Because you can't work for the company you've sued.
No, not.
I think there's
not
something in
really,
your
no.
contract that says if you sue you out.
And
No, I think it's awkward.
it's just awkward, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 It's like,
Let's be honest. You don't have to leave. It's, legally in this country, you don't have to leave.
And he was
But-
also doing tabletop, where he would get famous people and play different tabletop games every week or whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
I miss that so much. Like that was the two best things that Geek and Sundry had. That and the Guild. And now they're gone because Will Wheaton is gone, and I'm sad. Will
Yeah.
Wheaton, we need you back. Make something. Make your own production company. You got the money,
Yeah.
right?
Wait, who's
You-
replaced me? Mike Mason or Will Wheaton?
Well, Will Wheaton will replace David.
Oh,
So I'll
easily.
have Mike
I
Mason
mean,
and
he's a
Will
bit
Wheaton.
weird, like David.
oh,
Not as weird as David.
No.
Nobody is as weird as you, David. Don't worry, I'm not taking that
thank
title
you.
away.
I have that podium.
But Will Wheaton is a little bit weird.
He did a really nice
Just
interview recently, Will Wheaton, not David, um, about mental illness that I found very interesting to watch.
Mm.
Because as a child actor, he was like very pressured into. He didn't want to act basically as a child, but his parents were very.
Yeah,
We're making a fortune out of this, so you do it.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So he explained this whole situation and the resentment he felt as he grew up about his parents, and
Mm.
it's a really interesting talk. I can't remember where I watched it, where he was a guest.
Was it
What's that? The woman who was in the Big Bang Theory playing Sheldon Cooper's wife?
Amy, I
Mi-
can't remember her real name.
Bialik. Is
That's
Bialik
it,
the
yeah.
last name?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was a guest on her podcast.
Oh, cool.
Just Google it. I don't remember the name, guys. Sorry. But he was discussing. They were interviewing him about mental health and all that. And it's a really. I mean, the guy is open about like his depression and all that. And it was a really nice, uplifting, honest discussion. You should have a listen.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
That sounds really like informative as well, especially as someone who may have had experiences similar to other child actors or just someone in the industry may go, well, okay, we'll connect to this, but also to any listeners as well. They may connect with certain aspects of stuff and go, okay, maybe this is what I've been feeling, and then going, did they give any sort of like help to where you can get help as well during the whole podcast as well?
No, but that wasn't really the aim of the podcast. I'm sure if people wanna get some help for their mental illness, it's just a Google away. Let's be honest. If you need to reach out, it's harder to make the decision to reach out than to find where to reach out.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. Good God, it feels a bit sad now, but no, it's uplifting. It's nice. It's a good message.
It's uplifting,
nice,
sad
yeah.
note.
Yeah.
Ah,
Okay, so on to something that I know that Vass and I will laugh a lot at, or shake our heads in dismay. David,
Okay.
please tell us about your Pathfinder game on
Oh
Tuesday.
God.
yes.
I mean,
Okay.
yay!
I crack my fingers, and I'm ready to talk. I don't know.
Bearing in mind that we don't have an hour, so
Okay, I'm going to try to condense it into 2 minutes.
oh god. Okay, try and if you're going to condense it, that's fine, but try
Okay.
and make sure that we understand as well.
Yeah, give
Okay.
us the bullet points.
No,
Rightio.
tell us what happened. So you started down, you sat down with your cup of tea, and
Yep, it was nice and warm at that point. Yeah, so essentially, the whole session began with one of our party who got lost in the catacombs as we escaped last week was getting out of the rubble and trying to escape himself. So
I
the
thought last
GM asked,
week you were in a tavern. That's where you left it.
yes, we were.
so how did
But-
you get to the catacomb?
We were out of the catacombs. We encountered all we had, and we went to the tavern, thinking that these other two characters, they're just
Oh, they're dead. Let's go have a drink.
no, they're just doing their own business because they both. One was a druid, one was a rogue. One had connections to an establishment that was quite underground, and the other one had a druid circle. So we thought they probably went there. After the battle, like we went to the guard's house to double check everyone was okay. Like we were in that mindset, but in actual fact, he was actually trapped underneath the bubble. The rogue.
You're great friends. Can I just say you're a great party?
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
So weird.
What was worse is that we were all good characters going to the tavern as well, and we left all the we left
You left your friends trapped in rubble, and you went to have a drink.
Yes. Well,
That's
we didn't know
basically
they were
what happened.
alive. We couldn't be certain. We had to double
Did you
check everyone was right.
if they were hurt?
Before you went to the tavern.
We actually sent some guards to the
You
catacombs to
didn't
double
even go
check.
check
We
yourself.
sent some
You're like,
guards.
I will pay these people to go and. Did you pay them?
No, of course not. They're
No, they
guards.
worked for
You
me.
just asked them to go and look. You're like,
Yeah,
there might be
I'm-
some people trapped under there.
We'll
I'm
be
the
in the
captain
tavern
of the,
having a drink. You go.
I'm the
look for
captain
them.
of the guard. There was a lot of paperwork that needed to be done, so I couldn't go around
So
looking.
you went to the tavern to sign the paperwork.
We didn't actually
Because you
sign
went to the
paperwork,
tavern
we
as
just
well.
had drinks. We had drinks and food, and we rested.
In the tavern.
Yes.
While
Right.
your
While
colleagues.
your friends were trapped.
Yeah.
Fighting for their lives.
Friends is a bit strong of a word,
I
apparently.
mean, they are friends
Your
at this point.
colleagues, I don't
Yeah.
know. Apparently not, if you're going to leave them under a pile of rubble and not save them. So your colleagues were trapped under rubble and you just
Yes.
thought, let's go and have a drink.
So
Not let's dig them out straight away.
No, because what we encountered was something totally
Wow.
horrific, and we thought there could be something else down there, so we don't really want to go in there. Let's take a.
Let's
Let's
get
leave
involved.
our
Chances.
friends. We don't want to go down there, so let's leave our injured friends to deal with it alone.
Yep.
Remind me never to play a game with David again, because
but
apparently he's
essentially-
mean.
Is your alignment any shade of good, David?
No,
it's
it used to
lawful
be.
neutral.
You're not lawful anymore. Don't even pretend that
I'm
you're
lawful.
lawful.
He might be lawful evil.
He's not lawful because he keeps on bloody bribing people to do all sorts of shit, doesn't he?
Yeah, but if you're lawful evil, you're keeping up.
I
With
don't
the-
know, because
the law of the
lawful is
area.
still lawful. You're not lawful, are you?
No,
I'm
but
If you're
lawful
not
for my
sticking
own
to the law,
code.
you're not lawful.
But what if the law of like if you're living in a corrupt city and that's the law? If there's a tyrant, that's the law of the city.
I don't know.
You're still lawful.
I don't. I think the law is the law of the laws that have been placed out in the city, and he is not following the laws. He's the leader of the guard, and
He
he's
is
not
the law.
lawful. Oh, that
He's
makes
like-
it worse.
He's Judge Dredd.
I don't think he's that cool.
No. Well,
Uh,
I don't know.
Okay.
But no, essentially, he did get out after being left unconscious and actually resting that way. He did actually get out, but it took him a couple of rolls to actually do that. And he actually got met by one of my guards we sent, actually.
Man.
And is that guard now his new best friend? Because he
No,
actually.
because the
Oh.
guard is actually still looking for my Rebola, which is a magical returning bowler, which is a grappling tool.
I'm sorry, did you call it an Ebola?
No, he called it a
Rebo-
Rebola, which was so close to Ebola that I was just like, what?
a
You've
long-
got magical Ebola.
Yeah. It's an artifact.
No way.
It's an artifact I got from China.
Jeez. But
No,
but
not with cheese.
no. So yeah, they got out, and he then got caught up where we were, which was a magical bathhouse where an old wizard who we suspected to be evil all along is actually held out. So we were going into the bathhouse. We set off a trap, and we were trapped in a room.
Can I just ask, when your friend who was trapped met up with your party again, did he go like, "What the fuck, guys"?
No, he hasn't. That he's actually on his way. We were actually about 2 miles away from him.
Also,
I don't know how big the city
Okay,
is.
hang on. Let me just get this. Like, I want to get this straight in my head. Okay, so the catacombs collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
You left your friends there.
no, Cazz,
2
sorry.
miles away. Sorry, your
catacombs-
acquaintances.
The catacombs collapsed, and they thought, "Ooh, probably the druid went to the druid circle when the catacombs collapsed." Because that's
Yes.
logical.
Well, we did
Right,
burn
not that he might be under there.
Yeah.
If you
exactly.
didn't think that he would be under there, why did you send guards to dig him out?
I didn't actually. It was to get my Ebola, and
You
just so
asked
happened.
the guards to go in there to get your Ebola, right? Even though you had friends missing.
Yes.
Yeah, but he didn't actually send the guard to get the friends. That's what he's saying. It was just
Not to get the friends, it was to get Ebola.
Yeah, and it was a
Yes.
random
You
thing
sent the
that
guards down
guard.
to the catacombs to get Ebola.
It meant something to me because one of our other party members who is no longer with us gave me this item.
One of your
And
party friends
Oh,
gave you Ebola.
This means so much to me. I'm gonna go send the guard to go get it.
Yeah, it clearly doesn't. And
Yeah.
after that, you walked 2 miles away to a tavern. Like,
it
as
was,
in,
it was only a few meters away, so we could have.
you
we
just said you were
could-
2 miles away.
No, we actually ended up around about
Cazz,
2 miles
Cazz.
away.
Walked even further away from your Ebola.
The catacomb collapses, and right next to the catacomb is a tavern.
Yes.
Like
So
literally
they went to
next.
the tavern. How
Yeah.
did you manage to get 2 miles away from the
We-
catacombs?
They got drunk.
We went from the tavern to our house to the actual bathhouse, which was like, yeah, I would say
You
2 miles
went
was a
to,
bit of a
hang on,
stretch.
the tavern, your house, and the bathhouse are
It's
2 miles away from the
It's like
catacombs.
it's like that movie.
I'm so
Well,
confused.
what you call it? Hangover. It's like Hangover. They wake up the next day and they're like, "Where's the druid?" I don't know. Well, let's.
Where's the rope? I don't
yeah.
know.
And the druid is trapped under the rubble, like that guy was in
On the roof, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
man.
But that wasn't even that was the beginning.
Alright, so I just want to check, right. So you thought he'd gone to the Druid Circle. Did you go to check there straight away?
No,
No.
that's mental.
And then
Cazz.
realise he wasn't there?
No, because we had a lead in town and we didn't want to miss the chance of getting this lead.
So you went to the tavern?
No, we went.
And then to the
went-
bathhouse, Cazz.
Oh,
We
hang
went
on,
up.
hang on.
Keep
Okay.
up,
We went
come
to
on.
the-
I'm
we
trying
went-
to figure out, where was the lead?
We actually found out in the tavern as we were talking to the rest of the guards who took over the city.
So you didn't know about this lead until you got to the tavern?
Nope.
Okay, so when the rubble caved in the catacombs,
Yes.
did you go to the
To the-
Druid Circle to check
We
the
went
Druid
to
was
the
there
tavern.
before going to the tavern?
No, we
God,
went
no.
to the tavern.
Why didn't you check the Druid was alive first?
Yeah, she's capable.
So rubble collapses.
Capable of getting out from underneath some rubble by herself. Yeah, sure.
Rubble collapses. You look around and you're like, okay, Kaz is here, David is here, Simon is here, Elise is here. Where's Rob? He's capable. Yeah,
Oh,
let's go
he
to the
can look
tavern.
after himself. Whatever.
Yeah.
Let's go and get a
Let's
drink.
go to the tavern. And someone reminded me to send a guard back from my Ebola.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
go find our lost friend.
I
No,
swear to
of
God,
course not.
David, like
This does not make sense to me. I
No.
mean,
Oh my
I'm still a firm believer that if we get someone else from David's stable here, he'll tell a totally different story.
I don't know if
of
that's
what
the
happened.
case, because the question is, why didn't they look for this lost party member
Maybe
straight
he-
away?
Maybe he's
Are they
living.
really irritating? Do you hate
No.
them or something? They like
No, we don't.
this
No,
druid person
They're
is just
really
so
useful.
fucking irritating. Let's
they're
just
really
leave them.
useful. We
They're
have
useful.
Live
Yeah,
in
we
the
have-
home they die.
that's not answering my question of whether they're really fucking irritating.
No, they're not.
Right,
No,
so they're really useful and they're not irritating, and you still thought, let's just leave them.
well,
They're useful, and you thought, we don't need them. So they're clearly not useful.
they are. It's
Well,
just
obviously not if you're not going to go and find this person.
And the first quality you say about a friend is not useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've
That-
already established they're not friends because they just left them to take care of themselves.
Oh yeah, I'll save him. He's of use to me. Yeah, that's why I tell about my friends. Yeah, I'll keep him as a friend. He's useful.
yeah.
That's
He's
what I
useful to
do.
have.
Well, we remember.
I'll save Vass. He's a really good GM. He's useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was a setup to a joke, really. In the bar, it was a monk who was a guard, a
You went because it
Cobalt.
might be a funny joke.
kobold,
A
and a cleric
warrior,
walk into a bar.
cleric, and a druid walk into a catacomb.
No.
The druid
The-
doesn't make it out.
Oh no.
Ah.
I can't believe you just left the druid. Like,
Oh man.
Meta-wise, you knew they were down the catacombs, right?
The GM had already said that they needed to make rolls to actually escape.
Right, but meta-wise, you knew they were down there.
I mean, not even
We weren't
meta-wise.
sure.
They left them in the rubble.
They left,
Yeah.
They must have
left
known.
the druid in the rubble, and you thought that somehow they'd made it to the druid circle,
Well, it
even
was-
though they weren't with you when you left the rubble.
we just
No,
didn't know.
you keep huffing, and I'm asking these questions because it doesn't make sense to me.
We didn't
way,
know.
It sounds like we are interrogating him in like a police room.
I feel
Just trying to figure
Tell us,
out.
David. So the
Oh.
rubble fell. Where were you exactly? And what level of spells did you have prepared?
I was outside the church. I was
Outside
looking
the
at
church.
the
Was
bubble.
the church more or less than 2 miles from the bathhouse?
It was only a few meters. It was only a few meters.
Were the catacombs still catacombs when you left, or were they rubble?
They were catagon by the time we were
Catagons.
going.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
They were catagons.
Yes.
Okay, and you left the druid behind
I
in
thought I
the
was making the bad
catacombs,
jokes.
yeah?
She tried to escape with her hyena. So who was actually
Did your character see them escape?
Of course
No.
not.
Then
it was all dust and tentacles and
then
the
you
weird
should
ship
have.
thing.
So
You
you
should have
either
checked,
assumed they
really.
died, or you were like, I wasn't really fond of them anyway, and you just walked away.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
It was quite hard because
whose idea was it to just walk away and leave the druid in the catacombs?
I think it was just fate because we were the only three
No.
players.
No.
Fate.
There's no fate in that. You're faced with a
it
situation of
was
somebody
out of their
buried in
control.
catacombs. You're faced with a situation. Someone is buried in catacombs, or, and I put this as a very high pitched or they're in a druid circle.
I mean,
Do A, dig for them, B, go and check the druid circle first, or C, go to the tavern.
even if you think they died, the decent thing is to recover
to
their bodies.
Yes,
If
and
they're
steal
your
their fucking loot.
companions.
I mean, put them to rest. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
But you know, seriously, it would
We
have
don't
probably
steal loot
taken
from
you.
dead people.
Oh wait,
That's,
I just
fine.
forgot an important
Yeah.
detail. The
Oh,
druid
God.
circle was actually burnt down. We actually
So
torched
they
the
weren't
forest.
at the druid circle then.
No.
Can we,
So
can
they
we-
weren't at the druid circle. Therefore, they must
Can-
have been in the catacombs.
Don't try to make sense of it.
Catagons
Can we just
and-
stop?
Oh
On
no,
your head.
it's gonna drive me nuts.
You're
Okay,
getting
okay,
tapped on
fine.
by the glass in the background saying,
I'll-
please, you've only
No,
got 2
I
minutes.
can't. You're gonna have to finish it off next week when we
I
have
think
more
I will
time.
be able to. I
That's
hope.
what she said.
Oh,
I think it might be our last session next week.
I
That's what you
really
said-
look forward
that's what
to
you
this
said last week
conversation.
as well.
Yeah, and
I
we were
look-
surprised.
Yeah, but they've got the druid back now. Wait, have you got the druid back yet?
No, we're trapped in a
Oh,
room
for fuck's sake!
in the bathhouse. We can't
No,
see anyone
no,
in or
I'm
out.
out. That's it. I'm done.
Alright.
I can't do it. I can't
Hold
do
on
it.
to this and tell us it next week because I really want to know how this is going to
I'll put
end.
pause on this.
Oh my god!
I'll make sure I get a good case, and I'll
Just
make sure I'm
Getting a
seen
good
as
case of
innocent.
beer from the tavern.
I need a good case of beer after these
a big-
conversations.
A big thank you to everyone who stuck with us until this point of the podcast and didn't kill themselves. And
I think they're on-
we hope you enjoyed the conversation,
Yeah,
and we'll see you next
more
week.
interrogation and
See
conversation.
you next week. Thanks everyone.
Right.
Bye.
See you now. Bye. Bye.